Ladies and gentlemen, well, welcome to Meat People, this podcast to the Southwest Meat Association. I can't wait to have these conversations, and we're going to do everything we can to make it entertaining and valuable and a great representation of meeting the people.
We're hot. The Meat People podcast is fixing. See, this is my country kind of twang. Fixing. We're going to talk to Rodney Roth, Double R Brands, Home Sausage, and I know you listeners are going to be in for a treat. Rodney's invited me here to his, high-rise office complex here, and such a beautiful place to just walk into. I even said it was a little intimidating, but we're here to learn that story, hear about your business, ups, downs, slides sideways, and thank you so much for your time.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Good to see you.
You too, Wiz. We were catching up a little bit, and we've been kind of acquaintances at minimum.
For a long time.
Yeah. Talked about a few people that we've worked closely with, and you're still working with. By the way, shout out Floyd. Hey, what's happening? So where does this all start? I mean, really.
Well, I will tell you, the meat business is a big fraternity.
Yeah.
There's a lot of what I would say really good friends, some competitors, but everybody that I admire. And you're one of those guys. So I'm so excited to see you and just have this conversation. But for me, this thing is generational.
Yeah.
You know, this thing started with my grandfather, who was a Holocaust survivor and a butcher by trade. And truly all he knew was sausage making.
Yeah.
Didn't speak a lick of English, only German, and came to America for a fresh start. Landed in San Antonio, where he worked for a old meat company by the name of Ragline. We all remember that. And what he shared with my grandmother was his supervisor didn't speak German, and that he was going to start his own in Houston, which was Blue Ribbon. This goes back to the 1940-ish, and Blue Ribbon at that time was a full slaughtering facility.
Yeah.
We slaughtered all of the meat for Weingarten's, which was a local chain that probably had about 120 grocery stores in the Houston area at the time. And that's where Blue Ribbon was started. Not only did we do slaughtering, but we also had sausage kitchens,
sure,
which he was accustomed to.
Well, I mean, the inspiration for things comes from so many places. The supervisor doesn't speak German. I'm going to start my own thing. You know, that's pretty cool. That just says a lot. I mean, just skip right over Holocaust survivor.
Right.
You know, it's like, geez, this man went through
I didn't
some
know
stuff.
him. He passed before I was born, but obviously he was a very strong, thick-skinned man who left his family to start anew.
Yeah.
And his parents eventually made it to the United States. But it was a different time back then.
Yeah.
And most of the meat was being rationed for the troops. And so he was able to start in a small little meat locker, and I think he sold goats at the time.
Yeah.
And so it was a protein. So that's how we started. He passed the baton on to my parents. He died at a young age. And then they passed the baton on to me.
What was his name?
His name was Hans Pauli.
Hans Pauli.
A nice German name.
Yeah. Okay. And what's your mom and dad's name?
Franklin and Evelyn Roth.
Okay.
And so my mother was the
His
daughter of.
Yeah.
And he passed the baton on to my parents, and then they passed it on to me.
Yeah.
And what I will tell you is, as a company goes from generation to generation, the success rate starts to diminish, okay? And I think the third or fourth generation, it's about a 12%.
Yeah.
And I really didn't want that on my back. We ended up selling the company to a publicly traded company. And
this is Blue Ribbon.
This is Blue Ribbon.
Yeah.
And about, I would say 6 months later, the publicly traded company made me president, which was the first promotion that I ever got that wasn't from my mother.
Well, hey, that's
and so I
cool.
ran Blue Ribbon
Yeah.
from 95 until 2000. But I really enjoyed the smaller family business that I grew up in. And there was a brand that was underneath the radar by the name of Home Smokehouse. And when I was at Blue Ribbon, we were scratching our head. What is this guy doing that we're not doing? We had an old retired football coach by the name of Bum Phillips, on our sideline with us, helping us sell products.
Yeah.
We had grown this thing to the #1 brand in the Houston market. But really what it was, while everybody in the industry was speeding up the process, Home Smokehouse was slowing and going against the grain.
Yeah.
And so I left. I bought Home Smokehouse, and I haven't looked back in the rearview mirror ever since.
Yeah. I was talking to somebody, it might have been a couple days ago, but it's like the rearview mirror is kind of for glancing at, but most everything's happening out there in front of you. So that's where you need to be paying attention. Sounds like
That's correct.
you're the kind of guy that operates like that. Is there any kind of interesting story there? Did you just walk in and write a check for Holmes, or how did you pull that off?
Holmes was very, very small at the time.
Yeah.
I think we were in a couple of grocery stores in the Rosenberg area. I had 5 teammates or sausage makers with us, and I had a room or a smokehouse about the size of this conference room.
Yeah.
But it was a start, and it was a product that I believed in. And I kind of grew up sausage royalty.
Yeah.
And so I knew what good sausage tasted like. And so, I literally took a hunch and left the fold, went on my own. And if you believe in something, you will figure out a way of making it work.
Yeah.
And I believed that this was the best product I'd ever tried.
Yeah. Yeah, it's easy to sell something. Have you ever had this experience? I know you have. It's what do you call it? A rhetorical question.
Yeah.
Like the answer is already known pretty much by everybody, but you put your product in front of buyers and people, and it just disappears.
Well, it's like
that's fun to sell something.
absolutely.
Like that. Yeah.
It's like an attorney. You never walk into a room unless you know the answer to your question. Yeah. And I knew that we made really good sausage.
Yeah.
And if I could just get people to try it, I had a chance that they would rebuy it.
Yeah.
And that's really all I've done. I've gone door to door, account by account, and now we're in 48 states.
Yeah. Well, congrats.
It's a lot of traveling.
Yeah, congrats. That's cool. How does SMA feather into that? This is the Meet People podcast, and it's kind of an SMA project.
Sure. We've had a long-standing relationship with SMA. We lean on them for a lot of the resources that we need. As a young kid, we would frequent the conventions, and that was a way of us connecting with everybody in the industry. And like I said from the get-go, this is a big fraternity, and so it was a chance to catch up with everybody and hug everybody and just see what the latest and greatest was, okay?
Yeah.
They would bring the best of the best speakers from the USDA, and it was really a chance to learn. But it was a chance to, like I said, reconnect.
Yeah.
It's been a guide for us, every step of the way.
You just put it about as well as I know. And this isn't an SMA commercial.
No.
It's just it's the truth. It's like when you have a good sausage. Let's say I'm eating your sausage and it's good. I want to tell my friend about it because I want them to have a good eating experience. It's the same thing with SMA. Like, it's a great organization. It's good networking. It's good support.
It's a great tool.
Yeah.
That we utilize.
Yeah.
When we need something, that's usually the first call we make.
Yeah.
Where do we find this? Who do we talk to?
I don't know. I'm sitting here at a loss for words because I'm like, Rodney, you might ought to just be hosting this thing.
No, you've got this. You've got this.
I'm so interested. Like, part of me, I'm just curious because, I do watch you. And at Peterson's, we're selling bacon. We're like, oh, we need to sell some sausage too. Damn, we can't get any business. Holmes keeps beating us to all of it. What do you think?
What's the secret recipe?
Yeah, what is the secret?
Oh,
is it just good product? That seems
I would
too
tell
simple.
you it's good product. It's being competitive. It's providing the marketing that you need behind the products, because your work really starts after you get authorization, not before.
That's a beautiful insight, because it is true. Like getting the first PO.
But it's also having products that people will enjoy over and over.
Yeah.
And so, like I shared with you, if I could just figure out a way of getting people to try it, I knew that they would repeat the business. And what I also found out is, while the national guys continue to what I would call dumb down their products, okay, add different ingredients, liquid smokes, okay, we go against the grain, and it's a totally different experience than the national brands.
Yeah.
Better protein, better ingredients. And what I will tell you is that is what consumers today are looking for. Clean, a story, something a little bit different, and I think we check a lot of those boxes.
Registration is now open for the 2026 Meat Forum in Arlington, Texas. Join SMA on February 18th and 19th for 2 days of cutting-edge education and networking designed for meat and food industry leaders at all levels. Formerly known as the Mid-Year Conference, this premier event delivers timely insights, expert speakers, and opportunities to connect with industry peers. Don't miss out. Secure your spot today at southwestmeat.org.
I noticed as I'm walking down the hall, there's one of the doors says Double R Marketing.
Correct.
We've touched on that a little bit. What is Double R Marketing?
Double R Marketing is the resources that we need, or the tools that we have in our toolbox to get people to try our products.
Yeah.
Whether it's sampling, whether it's social media, on-site, off-site, it's video, it's audio. It's all of those things to entice consumers to give us a try. Yeah. And so we work with every customer that we have, making sure that the shirt fits them best. It's not this one size fits all.
Sure.
Because everybody has different customers. And so what we have to figure out is, how do we touch those customers? And so, this thing is changing. When I went to graduate school, it was radio and TV and billboards. Now it's so different. And so what you'll see in there is a group of younger marketers that understand, how do I connect with today's consumer? Yeah. And what are they looking for? Does it have the features? And so I think we have to ask those questions every day, because you can't sell the same thing that we were selling before.
That's a great insight. I mean, I almost want to say yeehaw about every 5 minutes. Like, dang, Rodney, yes,
yeah.
Yes. Maybe we're just a couple of kind of guys that tilt towards sales and like that kind of stuff, but you're just preaching. I think it's all so very true. The product that sold yesterday may not sell tomorrow, and you need to be paying attention enough to know when that tide changes, or when something, it might be a very simple, nuanced thing, but you got to be watching for it. Big high five for just thinking like, hey, and I want some younger people around me that see that too. I need that perspective. Big high five on just the marketing of your offices. I mean, walking into your office makes an impression. I got to believe I would love selling somebody sausage in this conference room or in this office. It's just another way of thinking about it that I know there's other people out there that do it other ways and are super successful. Like when me and Cody were first building Peterson's, I mean, we had like a folding table in the...
Oh, we did the same.
Yeah,
okay.
Sure. You're right. It's just different ways and different kind of times in life, or seasons almost.
Well, when you look, we've got a lot of history here, very proud history. Mm-hmm. And I want to make sure that I continue to make my family, my parents, grandparents very proud of what we're doing. I'm continuing their legacy is really what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And so what we have done is we have really taken the sausage category, Neil, and really turned it on its head. And what I mean by that is, in my opinion, it's kind of a sleepy category. You've got the same national brands, and they've been doing very, very well for a long time, but there really isn't anything new. And so what we did was we really looked across all of the different aisles in the grocery store. And what are consumers today looking for? Well, they're looking for quality, they're looking for price, but they're also looking for convenience and ease. And so we basically developed and pioneered sausage slices.
Oh, I was going to bring that up.
Okay, I beat you to it.
It was brilliant. Brilliant.
But what we recognized is there's three different consumers. One that buys traditional rings, which is center of the plate. And by the way, that's where I started. When Holmes started in the industry, that's all he made were sausage rings in about 4 or 5 different flavors. Well, now there's also a consumer that only buys links. And by the way, they don't crisscross. And they buy links because they want to put it in a hot dog bun. It's portion controlled, and it's very easy. And then there's a third consumer, and this is the new consumer, that is looking for a good source of protein, a cheaper source of protein, but they're also looking for convenience. Yeah. And so we know that sausage is a great ingredient in recipes, whether it's breakfast in the morning, whether it's on top of a pizza, whatever, okay? Yep. And that's the consumer that we're hitting. And so we came out with sausage slices 4 or 5 years ago, and it did okay. But now we have taken that and put that product in a resealable package with a bunch of recipes, okay? Yep. And it really has taken the country by storm. Yep. Since then, we have, I would say, leaned in on it, and we're coming out with breakfast slices, charcuterie slices, and that is just basically, a transition from that original sausage.
And a little bit, I hear the thing there that is you stuck with something that didn't just take off like a rocket first try.
No.
Because that kind of rarely happens. Peterson's launched this no sugar bacon. It was kind of hard to get people to pick up, and then one day it just kind of zoom.
Yeah, and that's kind of the same trajectory that we're on right now, which is at first people were kind of leery about it. They thought it was a good idea, but we've got plenty of sausages.
Yeah.
Now they're seeing it become more mainstream. And the other thing I'll share with you is that a lot of us sausage makers have shied away from like cocktail smokies, okay? Right. This also fits that because it's a lot easier to make.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I know, but I got to ask the question: why do people shy away from the cocktail smoke?
Because it's really tough on your equipment. You're making a small little sausage.
Yeah, it's efficiency.
It's a lot. Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of pounds. Not a lot of volume. I mean, it's really tough to make.
Lots of little links without a lot of pounds.
That's exactly right.
Do you make all your sausage?
We do.
You mentioned Burton. Is there a piece
We've got
of that
2
story
production plants.
Okay.
Our Lufkin facility is our workhorse. It's the Cadillac. It's got all the bells and whistles. And then we have positioned our Burton facility to catch the overflow from our Lufkin facility, but it's also our innovation center. And what I mean by that is we continue to bring new innovation to our partners, to our customers, whether it's new flavor profiles, whether it's new packaging. We're never sitting on our hands, and we're trying, even though they tell us no more than yes, hopefully we can provide something that resonates with them.
You got to get the no's.
Yeah, we're bringing them, LTOs, limited time offers. Yeah. We're bringing them new flavor profiles to try, like, for instance, Hatch Chili or Cranberry Gouda.
Yeah.
And so these are great seasonal items that they'll bring in and out. we probably did 180 different varieties of sausages in this innovation plant, and only probably a dozen will go to commerce.
Sure. Are you mostly retail focused? Do you have a industrial or
We
food service?
do some
side?
food service.
Yeah.
I would say 90% of our business is retail, and that's really because that was the business that I was actually taught by my parents and
I
grandparents.
was going to ask this too. Sorry for jumping to the questions so kind of randomly, but did you do anything but meat business your whole life? Did you ever have a stint doing some other thing, surfing?
No, I really didn't.
Yeah.
I would tell everybody that when I graduated from the University of Texas, my parents, brought me in, and that's when we started the Bum Phillips, marketing campaign, which really catapulted the family business. I really don't know anything else.
Did you know Bum? Or
I did.
Yeah,
I will
there
tell
you
you
go.
that was one of my father's closest friends,
Yeah.
and I was a part of something that was very, very magical. And when we added Bum to our lines of products, I'll never forget the story. It's a great story. But my father had the idea of bringing a spokesperson on board, and he was at the Houston Rodeo. And they had a salute to all of these Texas celebrities.
Yeah.
They had DeBakey and Cooley, the best doctors in the business. They brought out astronauts. But the last person they brought out was an old retired football coach by the name of Bum Phillips. And by the way, he got the loudest ovation out of everybody there.
Yeah.
And what my father said to my mother was, if something was to happen to me, we have got to get this guy on board with us. And literally met with Bum in his barn and talked to him about his idea of bringing him.
Yeah.
And he did, and that's really, where this Bum's favorite thing caught on fire, and we rode that pretty hard.
Yeah. I always loved Bum just because he wore a cowboy hat.
Oh,
It
he
just
was-
made me think, dang,
he
that
was
guy's cool.
He was iconic.
Yeah.
And he was a heck of a man, and
Yeah.
I was very, very lucky to have spent a lot of time with him, and just his mannerisms. He was so loved.
Yeah. Yeah. What is one of the hardest things, or I'm curious, maybe there's nothing hard, right? What is the hardest, one of those hardest things about aligning the difficulties or the truths about production of sausage with marketing and sales and those kind of things? Do you have does any of that seem to be like a recurring yep, here we go, we're back around on this, we got to deal with that again?
Well, what I will tell you is that every retailer wants something a little bit different.
Yeah, they want to be different.
They want to be different. And, what our goal is, obviously they know their customer better than us, but it's finding what I would call a happy medium here, which is finding something that not only fits them, but fits us. Doesn't become such a cog in the system that we're so inefficient and we don't want to run it, okay? And so we kind of figure out ways of bundling things together, smoking things together, making sure that allergens stay together.
Yeah.
But it's, like I said, it's kind of a juggling act. But at the end of the day, we want to give the customer what they want, and not necessarily what we want. And so we gotta balance that.
How do you win all these buckles on the wall over here?
Well, I would tell you a lot of luck,
Yeah.
but a lot of fun.
Sure.
And
I was just bringing it up because it feels like you're super involved. For
Yeah.
sure, like in Houston, with Rodeo Houston, with SMA. I've yet to talk to a singular person that isn't involved in other things outside of the business. I just don't know if success lives with people like that don't do it. It has to live with the people doing the other things. What's your take on that?
supporting the communities that you live in are vital. My grandparents were involved in the Houston Rodeo. They were founding members. And so they passed the baton on to my parents and to me. And so that's just a part of my DNA, which is giving back, being a part of it. And if I'm going to be a part of it, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. And so that's why you see all of those awards on the wall, which is we're not going to do anything, what I would say, half-ass. And excuse me if that's
No, I mean, I think it's people will
I don't
understand.
know if I can say that word, but we're going to give it 110%. And that's really the fruits of our labor hanging from the wall, which is, okay, they've got all these restaurateurs and smokehouses at the Houston Rodeo, but Home Smokehouse has won every single year some type of award, whether it's from best smoked sausage or whether it's best display. We're always going to put our best foot forward, and that's no different than anything we do here. Our sausages, our plants, our processes, our people, they're all going to be top-notch.
Well, I'm thinking about landing the plane a little bit. Thanks for your time. Everybody, thanks for listening. I'm curious, do you have an insight in like the legacy and how this goes? Do you have kids?
I do. I've got 2 sons.
All right. What's happening there?
That have recently joined the fold, so they're 5th generation.
Okay,
yes.
Cool.
And what I will tell you was it wasn't my idea. It had to be theirs. It had to be something that they were passionate about or wanted or something they wanted to join.
Yeah.
Now, they both graduated from college. They both worked for somebody else prior to joining me. And I thought that was really important because I wanted them to come to the table with new ideas, and they have. I wanted them to come to the table with a fresh, energetic approach, and they have. And so a lot of the success that we've had is just from them, not only rekindling my flame, but bringing new marketing approaches, bringing new processes. They worked for the top marketing firms in the country. They worked for Uber Eats. And so they've seen what other successful companies look like. And that's what I wanted, was them to bring new ideas. I don't have a monopoly on ideas.
Right.
And so that's what they've done is they have joined the fold. I think they're enjoying the business. I hope they are.
Yeah.
But they've done really good work since joining me.
Okay, cool. Well, that's good to hear. I was like, hey, man, you've kept it together for several generations. Let's keep it going. Yeah. Did you intentionally make them go somewhere else, or were they kind of thinking they wanted to, didn't really know what they were doing? You know, sometimes Dad will say, you got to work for somebody else.
No, I never thought they would be in the business. And so they were, basically forming their own chapters.
Sure, which is also very valuable.
Right, and it just so happened that it included us and joining us again and coming back to Texas, which was great because they went to schools kind of in the north. One went to Michigan, the other one went to Wisconsin. I wanted them to go to Texas schools, but that didn't happen. But anyway, I didn't know if they would ever come back to Texas, and so this brought them back, and it's a lot of fun having them here.
Oh, man.
But I still want them to chase their dream, Neil, and not necessarily mine.
Yeah. Which I think over time,
could
their
be.
dream kind of becomes yours.
It could be.
Because you start letting go of yours a little bit and grabbing theirs. I mean, I don't know. It's just crazy how it all may shake out. Do you happen to watch that show, Landman? You watch any of this Taylor
I do. Not
stuff?
as much as most,
Yeah.
but that's one I did. I really enjoyed that, yeah.
That cameo Jerry Jones made in there I thought was
fantastic.
super valuable. But
Yeah.
it sounds like you, actually.
I wish,
it's pretty cool to get to toil in your business and your career with your family.
Oh, it's a blast. And we're having a lot of fun. We're having a lot of wins together. And hopefully I can teach them the same business acumen that my parents taught me. And if I did that, then they're going to be very successful.
Yeah. That's a mic drop right there. Rodney, thanks for the time. Thanks for inviting me here to really interview you, have a conversation with you.
Great to see you.
Meet people needs Rodney Roth. Thanks for listening, everybody. Keep listening. Go back. Listen to the ones you haven't heard yet. Listen to the ones that are coming up. Every time, it's going to be a fun, interesting meet person on the other side of the mic.